How's it going, everybody? We're here for our first installment of the Good Vibes Artist Interview Series. Here with an old friend of ours, Knard Hawks. Or do you just go by Knard these days?
Yeah, just go by Knard.
Just Knard. Who is, I think one of the most inventive and interesting music producers in the DMV. Does a lot of really cool sort of mid-tempo kind of, I don't know, sort of if you were at like a dance club in Blade Runner music would be a way I would describe it. If that makes any sense. Like Blade Runner, like the new one, not like, how 80s people interpreted what dance music in the far off year of 2019 would be. But yeah, let's get into it. So what's been going on, man? What have you been up to musically these days?
Like as you know, like last year, I put out my album Upgrade. That's been doing really well for the year. Pretty much exploded on Spotify for like new artist level, like, broke the like 1,000 monthly listeners, getting thousands of plays, every month. It's really nice. It's awesome to see that kind of growth when you haven't really started anywhere and you just want to like drop like the biggest rock in the lake and you just want to see like the giantest splash that you can get. So it's really good to see that, and then watch the rippling effect happen after that. So during all of that, like I've also been working on more or less like a second album. This one's going to be a little shorter, but I think in terms of music, I've definitely hit a more of a, it's kind of it's weird. It's like it still hits on like a lot of the, like, as you said, like dance club kind of like Blade Runner kind of music. That kind of like industrial, dark techno, mid-tempo kind of stuff. But I'm also segueing a lot of that into a more progressional kind of vibe. I would kind of place it. I get a lot of like inspiration, I guess you could say, from like bands like Tool, for instance, or Richelieu, Dream Theater. A lot of that like prog and like, I guess what they would call like shoegaze music, like, the whole shoegaze movement, where it's not particularly about like the drop, so to speak, or like, the chorus, or like, whatever is that like hype moment, but it's all about this like progressional build up and rise and fall of energy in the music, and kind of like playing around in the textures a lot more, and playing around in just making things sound fun and enjoyable, but also having like an artistic expression that speaks to me, and taking that and like fusing it with like multiple styles of genres and stuff, and just kind of like going all over the place, but it's like all still musically like cohesive with one another. So I'm getting a lot of inspiration from like old school Goa, like Juno Reactor, and taking a lot of inspirations from like old school like Infected Mushroom, and kind of going closer to like some housey kind of stuff, or like psy, and kind of enveloping that inside the like dark industrial like techno-y kind of stuff, and still like trying to take the elements that I like and bridge it with I guess what you would call like modern EDM, stuff like dubstep or rhythm or drum and bass, et cetera, et cetera.
So here, like I think this would be a good moment to pull up your track. And
Yeah,
give it a
so
listen.
this track, Stay, this was definitely much more of a what I would consider like, the single of the album. It's a lot more cohesive to just regular EDM. It doesn't really speak too much about what goes on in the album, but it's definitely hitting on a lot of like drum and bass themes that I've always liked. I've liked very aggressive drum and bass. I've liked sounds kind of similar to like Nero. I love like female vocals, and like just that blend between like just aggressive EDM, but also having like that cyberpunky kind of sound, and just like the ambience of like vocals in it. So that's pretty much what you can expect from this one. But yeah, the rest of the album we'll leave for when that comes out.
Nice. Well, here.
Man, I love that. I feel like something that I find so interesting about your music is like you're really not trying to like I don't know follow one particular like genre or lane. You know, I could definitely hear what you're saying, where you're sort of incorporating a lot of different genres. And I mean, I heard the drum and bass. I definitely heard some of the more like contemporary bass music in there. I feel like a way that I guess I kind of hear it in the way that the sort of the rhythm was structured. That you're kind of like the Goa influences.
Yeah,
there.
there's a little bit of just very, very, very small like influence of Goa, like in some of the bass lines during like the second drop there. A lot of the music that you'll hear on the rest of the album is very much closer to like more like Juno Reactor type stuff or like Infected Mushroom. There's actually I think one track that like ultimately is just like I just wanted to go in a complete different direction and kind of did that. Yeah, like the whole concept of like genre, I think a lot of people like they understand genre at a very like surface level, you know. I you know people are like, yeah, like broken beats at 175, drum and bass, easy. You know, broken beats at 140, it's breaks, you know, a 4 to the floor at like 128, it's house music, you know, so on and so forth. You know, they understand that like that very core structure of genre. But I think genre goes beyond just like, you know, what's going on there. You know, you hear it all the time in like the differences between like all the different styles of like jungle and just like high energy drum and bass or hell, even in house music. I mean, house music expands to so many different types of genres to like big anthem type you know, or like big room house or progressive house or like dark techno, you know, stuff like that. And I think ultimately a lot of artists like I don't want to like pick apart their art, you know, like in that kind of way, but like I think a lot of artists really kind of like lock themselves in, you know, and it's not saying that's like a bad thing, you know, like if you're good at something, do it, you know, and keep cranking at it, because like, yeah, do something that everybody can enjoy and it's mixable and it's awesome. Um, for me personally, I choose to go a little beyond that, and I go into a lot of um more like rock music for inspiration. I like to play around even in classical on occasion, and just like I like to think more in terms of instruments rather than just straight up like beats, you know. Um, and I think it's just kind of where my music's gone at this point. It's just I like playing more with instruments. Um, and when I say instruments, I'm talking just like anything. It could be at one point I start using electric guitar for like a very small four beat section, just to emphasize like an extra texture in there that's, you know, something that your ears aren't fully captivated in at the time. But I still keep it like rigorous to like a style, you know, by those like really dark, gritty, you know, bass lines that everybody, you know, is familiar with, and it's what keeps the sound kind of intact. That with like the, you know, really punchy, you know, metallic kind of drums on occasion, and kind of creating like this more like atmospheric style of like reverb, you know, bouncing off in the distance. It's, you know, that kind of stuff is what I consider like your core band kind of stuff. You know, it's like if you know rock and roll, it's you know, guitar, bass guitar, drums, a vocalist, you know, and maybe a keyboardist, you know, and that's like core rock music basically. And you can take that entire idea and you can say, well, this particular thing, this like gritty bass line, that's my bass. This uh let's take this atmosphere and we'll call that my keys, you know. We'll take the vocals, that's my vocals. And you can apply that to almost like, you know, kind of structure to almost any kind of like sound that you're creating. And not just like in the song in full, but you can even narrow it down to like little sections. And that's kind of where I get the whole like shoegaze kind of stuff, is that I could take an entire section and it's its own like kind of like band almost, if you will. And it like creates its own energy. It creates its own style of performance. And what I like to do is take those as like little chunks and sequence them with each other, essentially, to just kind of take you on this like musical journey through sound. And it's just not like, I think a lot of people may not understand it fully. And you know, I don't knock that. You know, it's whatever. You know, people enjoy what they enjoy. You know, but this is what I like to make, and you know, that's how I like to make it.